Welcome back to Behind the Box. Today, we're bringing you a review of a new game that came out this past summer at Gen Con, and it's called Spirit Island. So in our review, we're going to start by giving a little overview of the game. Then we'll talk about the kind of decisions that you'll have to make on your turn. And we'll go into the positives, we'll talk about the negatives, and finish up with some final thoughts.
So, for the overview, Spirit Island is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players, where you each play as a unique spirit trying to defend your island from invaders. It's kind of like an anti-Settlers of Catan. So, you win if you're able to scare the invaders enough that they don't want to settle on your island, and you lose if they overrun and sort of just become too much of a force on the island for you to deal with. So every single turn plays out in the same set of phases. The first one is you choose how your spirit will grow. So you can add more presence to the island and sort of be more of a force there. You can learn new powers. You can just get a little bit more powerful, get a bit more energy. After you've made that decision, you'll then choose which cards you want to play. Your cards are your powers. So you've got fast powers and slow powers. So after everyone's made their decision, everyone plays their fast powers in whatever order they choose. Then the invaders take their turn, where they will ravage an area on the board, they'll build somewhere, and they'll explore somewhere new. And then after that, you'll do your slow powers. Once that's all resolved, you go back to the growth phase, and you just keep doing that over and over until you either win or you lose. It is such a good game, just to start with. It's so good. I mean, some of the things you'll have to do, it's not easy. It's a difficult game. And so you will wind up in these situations where you've got to choose between essentially 2 bad things. Usually one bad thing will happen if you do one thing, but then you kind of can't really counteract it.
You have to prioritize, don't you?
You do, yeah. There's a lot of priority. You've got to talk to your teammates a lot about how you're going to resolve these. So if you want to just give an example, I'll hold some stuff up.
So right from the get-go, the first thing you're going to do is pick your growth, which is a decision in and of itself, because you got to be thinking, where am I going to grow out to if I'm putting presence on the board? Yeah. Do I want to get stronger where I currently am, or do I want to spread more so that I can perhaps help deal with an area that's getting overrun over there? So that's a choice. And then you got to be thinking, okay, what cards can I play? And will my cards help with this situation? Where do I need to be in order to use these cards? Yeah. What are my teammates doing? Can they deal with that? Do I need to be over there?
It's also really interesting because the powers that you play, as I mentioned, they're fast or slow. Mm-hmm. And the fast ones go before the invaders. And so that's usually things like defense or moving stuff around. The slow ones, they're usually the damaging and destructive ones that help you, but they don't go until after the enemy's taken their turn. So you sometimes have to look at the board and go, right, they're going to attack the jungle, these green spaces. Do I defend them, but then next turn they'll also then do damage to the mountains and start building on the wetlands? Or do we take a hit and instead play our slow powers so that when they build on the mountains, we can destroy it before it becomes a problem in the future? You know, like, these decisions you have to make every single turn. It is unrelenting. Partly why I love it, but it really is just non-stop decision-making, one after another. And
you never relax. Every single turn is important. There's no autopilot on this game.
It really is, which I think is a good way to go into our positives. I think that's a positive. I think if you want a challenge of a game, this is definitely that. It is really good for that. I mean, that's just the start of the positives.
I mean, it'd be too long of a video if we went all the way into all that. But the art is terrific. The components are great quality, really
sturdy.
Yeah.
It's all unique. All the artwork's unique. Every single card is different from every other card. Every single spirit is different from every other spirit.
And the replayability that the game offers is fantastic because there's so much variety. You've got all these different spirits to choose from that each play differently. Yeah. You've got different events. Cards that you can use, different events that come out that affect things. Even the board has different sides that play a little bit differently, or they set up a little differently.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because each board you can place in a different orientation, and there's 4 different board pieces, so the setup will be different. The only thing that actually stays the same is on the board, it tells you where to put the starting pieces, and if you play as, say, for example, the Lightning Bird, you get 4 cards that are his cards.
Yeah.
Other than that, every single part of the game is randomized through card draw. So the way they invade, the way they attack and build, it's all just from drawing cards, and you can always see sort of one step ahead. Mm-hmm. It is really, really clever when it comes to that stuff, and it makes it so you can just keep playing it over and over.
And if you want more of a challenge, say you're getting used to this, it scales quite well too.
It really does, yeah. So there's also a way you can play with adversaries. So you basically assign like a nation to the invaders. So they might be the British. They then have their own setup rules, their own other like victory conditions, and you can scale that. There's 6 different difficulties just for that one adversary. And so once you kind of got used to one, you just, again, you go on to the next one, make it a little bit more difficult. There's other nations that you can play against. There's other scenarios that you can play in, which also change everything about the game. Mm-hmm. The variety and the replayability.
It's endless.
I couldn't even begin to imagine the overall amount of combinations that you can get with this game.
So we might as well move on to the negatives.
Yeah. I think the main one that is actually what we would say is a negative, analysis paralysis.
Yeah, that's me all over. But you never get it, and you get it in this game. I can't
think of any other game that I get it. This game gives me analysis paralysis.
We've talked about it before in our gaming solutions video, but in case you're not familiar with the term, analysis paralysis is when there's so many decisions, so much information, so much to take in that you're really frozen with indecision. You can't make your mind up about what's the right thing to do. I mean, I've sat here for 10 minutes. It's ridiculous thinking, what am I going to do? And eventually you just give up and you admit, I can't choose. And that's when your teammates
other people need to go, right,
come in and they
we
help.
need you to do this then. And it's also kind of a positive, that side of it, because it stops quarterbacking because you can't control everyone else's turns.
Yeah.
But then you get analysis paralysis because you're kind of stuck on your own thing, and everyone needs to be on the same page. You need to be communicating. What gives it to me in this game is we'll make a decision. We'll say, right, this turn we're going to do a big defense on this place here and a big attack here. But then all of a sudden someone goes, oh, I actually don't have the energy to do both of those things. And you've kind of already made your decisions. You've maybe done your growth and looked at like getting new cards. And all of a sudden you kind of have to start looking, do I backtrack a little bit and not have done that and re-look at the strategy, and then someone else will go, oh, but I can do this, and you go, okay, right, now I need to do it again, but what was it? It was 5 minutes ago that we came up with this plan.
I've forgotten what that was supposed to be.
It can get quite heavy from that side. It's not a bad thing, like, if you're okay with it, but if you're someone that's going to suffer from AP, then it is a negative. And
you might find it a little hard to play this game.
Yeah, I think also with that, it's because it's so difficult. It's a long game, takes a long time to play. It is hard, and so if you don't like hard games, you're probably not going to like this one. The setup's really, really long. The teardown's really long, and learning the game.
Yeah, it is a challenge to learn the game. You'll find yourself. You will get frustrated at times. You just got to be patient with yourself. Be realistic with yourself. You're not going to get it all right the first time.
No, we definitely made mistakes.
Yeah.
First couple of times we played, because there is a lot to learn.
And it's long. It takes a while to play the game. So make sure that you're in the right mood and you've got enough time to play it. I mean, I love this game. These are my final thoughts. I love the game, but for me, I have to be in the right frame of mind, and I have to have enough time to play the game. It has to
be something you plan to do. Yeah. I think I could always play it. I think if someone was just like, if I obviously wasn't about to leave and go do something, I think I'd always be up for playing it. But I get what you mean. Like, you need to have the time dedicated to it, because it's a mental strain. It's a lot of energy goes into learning and playing the game. So you do need to be in the right frame of mind for it. My final thoughts are if you like Pandemic, this is the next step. If you've played that enough that's easy for you, or even if you played that a lot and so you're really good at it, and you find that there's one player that really takes over and quarterbacks everything, because the way I've heard it be described with Pandemic, and I don't fully disagree, is that it's kind of a one-player game that 4 people can play. This isn't that. You couldn't play everyone else's turns for them because there's so much to do, and I think that's a huge plus, because I'm happy with heavier games and cooperative games. We both love. It's mostly what we play. So yeah, this just ticks all my boxes. Would you recommend this?
I would recommend it. Yeah,
I would too. It's fantastic. It's probably one of my top 3 favorite games of all time now, and Yeah, definitely deserves to be there. We've also, I've mentioned it a little bit before, we've got the expansion called Branch and Claw. We've got the promos. They add great stuff. If you get the base game, you like it, I would definitely recommend them. It just adds more of the same and better. The other thing just to mention is that it's currently not actually in stock. None of it is. You can't get the promos, you can't get the base game, you can't get the expansion. It's all sold out. We don't have any insider knowledge, but we've heard that December is when they're looking to reprint it. So keep your eyes open for it.
It is pricey, but I mean, you do get what you pay for. So just consider that as well if you're thinking about buying it.
But yeah, that is our review of Spirit Island. If you let us know if there's anything we can improve on, that'd be great, because this is our first one, so we're looking to keep doing these and get better at them. And yeah, if you want more information on the game, check out the link in the description to the Board Game Geek page, and check out all of our social media as well, just as always. And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon.
See ya. Bye.
This is just powering up.
You of your you look at me and I think you're laughing. Game that came on.
Yes. We turned it on at Gen Con this year. We're really proud. It lit up beautifully.